Well, well. If it isn't me. If it isn't I. Again. But goodness, is this a difficult task? What is it? Oh. I shall open music. I don't know what's going on.
Как да спя, щом някой диша сам, може би прозорецът му свети, може би не съм му нужна вече, може би. Спи.
Тъмнината винаги остава да свети един прозорец. Този път остана моят. Ще се върна от едно дълго пътуване назад, спомените си, уморено, за да срещна изгрева в очакване на нещо по-светло и трайно.
Добър ден! Добър ден! И за мен той носи смисъл, но добър ден!
let's get right into it. It's another day. It's another week. I am confused about another movie that I have watched. It's called Hourglass Sanatorium, which was made in 1973 by Wojciech Jałży. Has. I hope I pronounced this correctly. Wojciech. I don't know. Anyway, this movie is actually an adaptation from the book that is written by Bruno Schultz, and it's called Sanatorium under the Sky. And the book I've not read yet. Well, after watching the movie, I was actually quite interested hearing what the author had to say about all this. I don't know if you watched it. I'm not really confident about talking about this movie because I didn't find any kind of review on it apart from one YouTube channel called YouTube. I don't know how it's pronounced. And they talked about it for a while, and I don't have the attention span. Hello. Thank you for the stalk, the follow. You can't hear me, really? How's that? Do you hear me now? Okay. Is it good now? Can you hear the music still? Okay. Hi, G-Man. Welcome to my stream. I'm just going to rant about a movie called The Hourglass Sanatorium, which I'm not very confident about ranting because it's a very specific and confusing movie that I got lost at certain times. I don't know if you've watched it. If you haven't watched it, I will be doing next week a stream on Discord for watching the movie. You can join if you'd like, that is, on a Thursday, the same time, around 6 p.m, for me, at least. Anyway, let me get right into it then. So the movie is about a man, basically. His name is Joseph. He travels on a train, going to see his father, apparently. And in the very first scenes, we're introduced with really sickly dying bodies and people who are very depressed and very sullen look inside the train. And he gets off by the train conductor who appears to be blind. I just couldn't get into the symbolism of it all. I'm just trying to describe the movie as much as I can describe it. And so so he arrives at a sanatorium that's very broken down, very destroyed. It's old. It has all sorts of greenery all around. Nature has taken over, basically. And then he meets a woman who is half naked, like her, her clothes are undone, and she's apparently the nurse. And the doctor tells him he's dead, because I have no idea why, but technically we do afterwards see that he's not dead and he's very much alive. And to cut this, like, the story overall, the story takes place around Joseph's own dreams and imaginations, although there are certain instances that we kind of can see that he's reliving a memory that is very prevalent in his life. And this movie was made in the 70s, where the Jewish population in Poland was very a lot, and they were not I don't know, according to, there was a, yeah, it's a series of reflections on the Holocaust that were not present in the original text, because the movie does show a lot of those elements. And you can see in the very first dream sequence that you get to meet, as he follows a little boy with a really cute hat, I must say, into a Narnia-like garden, and he ends up in a place that is basically I don't know how to describe it. It's an opening, I guess. I'm not sure. But before the dream sequence actually begins, we see him going inside of the house, the same the movie is around 2 hours. I usually try to describe the movie and like have an what's the word? Goodness, I am so not feeling it today. I'm not really good at talking. I need to get better at it by writing stuff, but I just didn't have the energy to actually write anything, because I just didn't understand a lot of things. The story synopsis, basically. It's really here and there, because there is no specific timeline. You keep on hopping between a series of dreamlike states, and yeah, basically the first scene that you see of him is him imagining that he's seeing his mother. At least that's the vibe it gives off. And then it gets crazier from there, He usually ends up climbing under beds or ladders and whatnot. The first dream sequence is him in a Jewish street full of his community, and he keeps going around waking them up one by one, and then they end up singing together, and to show like the collective spirit, in some way. And this scene was like the first time I was like, oh, okay, he's kind of in his head now. And as time goes by and you kind of get into the whole deeper into the rabbit hole, in a way, his childlike character is portrayed, because in the first instance he talks to his mom, he's talking to the Jewish friends. You cannot see it, like he's talking like a man, and he's played by a man, obviously. And then you get to see his childlike behavior in his first encounter with a woman, I'm not sure if she was a prostitute or she was just a really freaky lady of the 70s, but basically the way they interact together, especially him looking at himself, playing around with a helmet and whatnot, it was very childlike. Him even staring at her body, you know, was very. It was like a young boy, like going through puberty, basically. And then obviously he goes under the bed, and he ends up in a field, in a in a, and then he kind of meets his father there, who's talking about birds and whatnot, and then he ends up meeting the little boy who was in the hat that he ended up following into the dream world, you know. And he talks to him about landscapes, and the boy shows him a book that has a lot of stamps and whatnot and places that he could go to. And I think at that point he was talking to himself as an adult, but in the form of a child. So you know how we see him, the character, as a boy inside of a man's man meat suit, basically, man's body. That child was kind of a representation of his adult self. Well, I'm not sure if he's trying to find himself or grow from the past, because it doesn't. There's so much symbolism in the work. It's very confusing because nothing is very outright, and nothing is like directly said. It's just a whole bunch of symbolism and quotes and things that they just happen to talk about. I don't know, like his his the only thing that I can assure you is that his dad is very sick and he's dying, and he in turn is trying to cope with it. But we're not really sure if he's an adult when he's actually trying to cope with it or whatnot, you know. And he ends up going to very strange places. Like Mexico, a rundown house that has men with puppets that he's collecting, like old not old figures, no, famous figures from history, and they're like puppets, like porcelain puppets, but they're alive, kind of. And he talks about how important and how functional they are. And then one of them ends up smashing his head and bleeding, and then there's a girl that he apparently is in love with as well. But she sees the man he loves moving, who is also a puppet, a porcelain puppet, because we're led to believe that this man, the man with the monocle, was talking about these puppets they're all just puppets, you know, you have to believe me. But it's not actually, because he starts bleeding from his head, and Bianca, the lady, I think it was Bianca, her name, she ends up crying over seeing the dead lover basically on the floor. And the puppet master tries to bribe him, but he said, no, I don't want to be bribed. And then there's I don't know if it was supposed to be racist, or the intention was that it was portrayed as a different form of a human being, basically. But the soldiers were Negroes, black people. They kind of prefaced that by saying that they're out to get him and whatnot. So I have no idea why he put it there. I'm not really sure. I don't think he was trying to be racist, but I think he was trying to portray that this is a different place and time, and these people are different, and the soldiers that are after him are different, basically. But of course, you can watch it and come to your own conclusion. I was super confused the whole time, because you know me, I'm a dumb bitch. I'm always confused, and that's the whole point of me watching movies, so that I can get confused on and again for your pleasure, you know. And at certain points, I have no. His father is so obsessed with birds for some reason, and he talks about birds all the time, and then he eventually ends up dying or sleeping. I'm not sure, and then the main character goes back and finds the prostitute that he first encountered, and then you get to see that the dream sequence is kind of becoming nightmarish. It gets darker, like the themes, the topics involved, the people who are surrounding him. It's getting more worse and worse. And that's basically it. Honestly, I was just so confused the whole time. All the puppets are just destroyed. Am I boring or what? Why can't I talk? Dead birds! Goodness gracious, I forgot this scene. There's dead parrots everywhere. Yeah, in the end, like the doctor said in the beginning, his father's dead. Well, his father dies, and in the beginning, of course, he also said something along the lines of, "Your this place, this hotel, the sanatorium that he's in, it has no time," and that is kind of what led him to transport himself through the doors and go around the dreams and whatnot. I presume. I'm not sure, because there's so many elements that I can't talk about from the get-go. And I think, in a way, he was just trying to cope with his father's death, all in all. And also, I would like to point out that the blind conductor is a symbolism of death of Chariot, who he himself ends up transforming into at the very end. I think, in a way, he becomes death, basically. What should I write here? I need to check my writing. Goodness gracious. So yeah, the movie ends with the same scene of him entering the sanatorium, which was very green, and it was daylight, and it was shrubby and whatnot. Even though it was old and it looked kind of dead, in the end, it's dark. It is filled with candles. It's a very evident graveyard, and he himself is transformed into Death, the Sharian, the guy, the one who transports uh, the Greeks, the dead Greeks around from the river Styx and whatnot. If I'm not mistaken, his name was Sharian, I think. Overall, this movie was a huge struggle. My brain capacity didn't handle it, especially since I didn't watch it with anyone, and there was no helpful videos that could help me explain the symbolism behind it. I like watching movies and I like watching films, but I'm not good at dissecting them. So, yeah, I think I need to rewatch it again, which I'm going to do this Thursday again. Next Thursday. This Thursday was yesterday, basically. And I will do something about my brain. Probably. I need to read more. There was a huge, a lot of messaging of the Holocaust and how the Jewish community was struggling, and the way they held up together and whatnot, and it became very nightmarish towards the end, which was, I think, one of those symbols that I could probably, point out very easily. But then I'm not really sure about why his father was so obsessed with birds, why he himself appeared to be a child, and then he became deaf, the blind conductor, basically, that was at the very beginning of the movie. There's some really quotes that kind of give you an answer. For example, in the very beginning, he says, "How will I know where to get there?" And that's like the first line he says. And the blind conductor is like, "Yeah, you'll know when you get there." And that kind of takes away from the whole plot point, I think, in a way, because you don't really need to watch everything else, because you can just skip over every single detail. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can watch everything and it's going to be super fun because it has a lot of quirky storytelling. It's kind of like Alice in Wonderland, and he's going around just meeting random weird people who some of them have like bird heads, some of them are trying to sell him eggs, and some of them are puppet masters who turn real people into puppets. And his, his lover Bianca is sometimes in love with him, and sometimes she's not, and she's depicted in very strange circumstances. You don't have a specific timeline, and it's kind of like a dream in a way that there is no time. It doesn't encompass any time. There's no, oh, this is what happens and then that will happen. He's just randomly going around discovering things. And yeah, his interactions with his mother as well is very strange. She kind of talks about how his father goes away and is away because of certain circumstances, and she's suspiciously, closing the door of a specific room. I'm guessing that it was his father's room, and she was trying to hide the death of his father in a way. Yeah, that's all I remember. Overall, I think it was more of a story of a man who was going through his last minutes with his father. You know how you, before you die, you get like 7 minutes of recap in your brain of your life and something like that. I think he was trying to cope with it by imagining all these scenarios, and his subconscious was telling him, hey, I'm giving you a gift. This is how you cope with it, you know. Trying to remember his father in the most lively and enthusiastic sense, and then towards the end he gets to face reality, and that no, it's not like that because he's dead. And I don't know if this could be said about him, I'm not sure, but I have a feeling that he might have ended his own life towards the end, because he became the blind conductor himself. So I think that was like to symbolize that he couldn't hold the death of his family, basically, and he, you know, offed himself. But of course, I could be wrong. I don't know. It's just wow. It was a good movie. I really liked it. I think the writing was super fun to watch. The plotline was amazing. The dream sequences were flowing smoothly, even though there was no specific timeline that you followed. So you can like start from any point of the movie, and you will still see like it's the same, because it already is confusing. There's no specific sequence to it. Although there is obviously the beginning, the dream and the nightmare, the kind of opposite. So it begins with the dream and ends with a nightmare. And then there's also the small part where you're introduced to reality, which he encounters. But even that, I'm not even sure if he's actually seeing the reality of it in that moment, because you see a lot of the sanatorium that he is held at, that his father, you know, is very, very wrecked. And the nurse, the doctor, all of them are very irresponsible as well. You get to meet the main setting, and you say, oh, why is his dad in such a place, you know? He's sick already and he's dying. I think that could be interpreted as even like back to probably the living conditions of the Jews. But then again, I'm really not sure. I wish someone who was like professional at this movie, or someone who had watched it, could discuss it with me, to tell me, hey, you know, you're dumb. Let me tell you how it was. This is how it was. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna have to watch it again, just to get a good feel of it. What kind of movies do you guys like? If there is anyone, that is. No one? Okay. It's no one. I need to see. Hourglass Sanatorium. I wonder if this one has. Oh god. Nobody has talked about it. Why has no one watched this movie? Just MoveTube. MoveTube, you're amazing. You're the only one who's watched it. Let's watch the trailer. How about that?
Między wszystkimi historiami jest jedna, której nie słyszałeś. Pełno w niej widm i fantomów.
Dlaczego mam uczucie, jak gdybym już tam kiedyś był? Chcę wiedzieć, czy to wszystko mogło się zdarzyć.
I tak, i nie. Bo są rzeczy, które są za wielkie, za wspaniałe.
Porwania, gonitwy, zdrady. Ja sam nie mogę wyjść ze studia.
One tylko próbują. Próbują się zdarzyć.
Czy znasz historię, której czas już nie zmieni? Czy starczy ci cierpliwości, aby jej wysłuchać? Nie bój się.
Maybe we can listen to MoveTube.
Schultz's poetic prose was the reading of my early youth. It influenced my films. That is why the realization of the Hourglass Sanatorium was a must for me. My aim was not to make a literal adaptation of the work, but rather to do justice to what we call the work's poetics, its unique, isolated world, its atmospheres, colours and shapes. That is Wojciech Huss, talking about a 1937 novel by Polish author Bruno Schulz. For Huss, Sanatorium under the sign of the hourglass would become for him the Hourglass Sanatorium, a trypnotic, hypnotic and yes, totally psychedelic descent through the distorted fantasies of Joseph, attending to his unwell father in a rather, unsanitary sanatorium. But is it a dream or a nightmare? To answer that question as ever is Ralph Pritchard, for whom the hourglass is one of his all-time faves, apparently. Ralph, feeling sleepy or are you awake?
Yeah, so this film is one of my favourite films of all time, and I've seen it countless times, maybe 6 or 7.
It's not countless, is it?
Well, I just tried to count it, but the vagaries of the number of times I've seen it indicate the countlessness of it.
Right.
To bring in another quote from Wojciech Has, he was reported by one of his students at the Lodge Film School, and the student had made a film with a dream sequence in it. And Wojciech Has was very clear, you will not, in a film that is overseen by me, there will be no dream sequences, because the entirety of film is a dream. Like, the experience of film is the dream world.
What a rascal.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, it's sort of like a classic case of someone being like misinterpreted by a noob, because obviously his work is like very dreamlike, but there's never a moment where someone like falls asleep and like, you know, the harp glistens. But
there's no wobble at the screen. It's all,
one of my favorite things about this film is that it evokes childhood without it manages to tap into kind of an irrational world, a mythic world, without using obtrusive devices. It flows in a very agile way. It's like this, the way it evokes like sexuality and memory, and it also just talks about the Holocaust in a way that makes sense from the perspective of a child who doesn't quite know what's going on.
Yeah, this kind of chaotic, towering unknown that kind of hovers at the edge of the film, right? Because there's no point. It was very easy to watch this film in a way because you kind of release yourself into a dream state, because it's not, like you said, there's no like, we are entering a dream. From moment one, frame one, this is not ordinary. It's everything has kind of got this rotten decay over it, which is, a signifier of a kind of ruined, faded world. And, the film begins on a train. He's on a train to go and visit his father at a sanatorium. It's not like when he enters the sanatorium, it's like he's gone into the secret garden or through the closet into Narnia. It's like, it was already that. It's this kind of harrowed, it's like, it's like a Beckman painting. It's like these kind of tortured, strange bodies, ghoulish. There's cobwebs on everyone's faces. There's moaning and groaning. It's all very kind of composed. But yeah, like from scene one, it's just already freaky. Which is interesting, and it does make it more profound, because it's not like you slip into the dream. Everything is oniric. Everything is bizarre, even though it's got lots of levels to it. Like the best dreams, he's constantly climbing through. He goes under a bed. He climbs up a ladder. He gets shunted over a wall. So there's different areas of this like mind palace, is probably a better way to put it. So that the sanatorium itself kind of falls away pretty quickly, and it feels quite natural. I was surprised actually when because you've described this film to me before. This was my first viewing, and. Yeah, I was expecting something different actually. I was expecting it to be less, considering you were really anti our Argentinian friend from a couple weeks ago. Chilean friend. There are interesting, Jodorowsky, there are interesting parallels between the cinema of Jodorowsky and Haas. In terms of its staging and its use of props and so on, and it's kind of, and all of Jodorowsky's film, like from scene one to final scene, it's all weird. There's no like normal and weird bit. So I was surprised actually that your dislike of Jodorowsky, you like Hourglass Sanatorium. So for you, what's the difference? What's the proof in the pudding?
So I think with Jodorowsky, there's this very self-conscious use of metaphor, which is and a presentational style that I find. But Jan Nowicki, great Polish actor, plays the main character Joseph, and he has this amazing ability to be our representative as the viewer. There's an element of what's going on here, but also a total willingness to go along for the ride. And there's very few actors who manage to kind of do that, and you need something like that to make that world work. You get a bit in Twin Peaks. I think Dale Cooper, Carl MacLachlan's character in that, has that same quality of like bringing, being like just about normal enough to like have that identifiable difference. Like, what's going on here?
Credulous enough, exactly. With Joseph and this with Jan Nowicki's character, he goes from a kind of rabbit in the headlights, stunned deer, but in a similar vein actually to the trial, he kind of slips into the world and becomes a kind of master of ceremonies of it almost. Like he even though that there's obviously like it's like a clockwork animation that's ticking into place, and he kind of performs and kind of participates in its absurdities. The fact that he dons that fireman's helmet and wears it for much of the film, it's an interesting prop, because it kind of, rather than being just in his suit, which would kind of signify him being a kind of,
it really felt like a theater piece where you would go to the theater and you'd be indulged in the scenes, and then the scene would quickly change and make you feel like you're going along with the theatrics of it all, but then it's actually a movie, which adds like more how do I say, you have more instruments basically to make it like look like it's flowing from one scene to another, whereas in theater you would have to physically move stuff around, I think.
See women
the redheads,
they're like sort of town whore. He's like, he's kind of like pubescent at that moment, I imagine.
Because she says, if only you were older, if only you were born earlier. And his mum says the same. His mum's like, you must go to school, Joseph.
He's old enough to get a boner, but he's not.
Yeah, so in the film, there's kind of a real world here, which is the world of his childhood. There's this largely Jewish community somewhere in Poland. The kind of, like you said, the village whore, his father was a store owner. So we see him in his shop. And there's those scenes, and there's like a village square, and it kind of flips between those and this kind of grotty country house that's falling into decay, this marshland. So there's a kind of familiar geography to it, but it's populated with like the fantastical, the frontier coming home, right? Because there's black soldiers but dressed in Napoleonic uniforms. They're like the toy soldiers of a child, beating drums. There's all these kind of grand priests and generals and lords dressed up on horses. So they're the figurines almost of a child's imagination. And when he talks to Rudolph, Rudolph has his book of stamps, and there's this kind of tension between them in a way where Joseph is kind of like fabricating this fantastical story about an emperor and revolution in his head, and that plays out through his world. So he's very much the master of ceremonies, the conductor of this world. And whether what we're supposed to do with that narratively, I don't think much. Like, because he's gone to see technically he's the narrative. He's gone to see his papa in a sanatorium. His place is weird. And his dad is dead, but the way the doctor puts it is like he's like, we've suspended time in this place. So he's dead, but he does not know it yet. And
yeah,
then,
he gets to spend time with his dad, which is nice.
Which is interesting. Yeah, it's almost like
but his dad is behaving quite strangely.
Yeah, his dad is this insane bird collector almost, isn't he? He's always surrounded by birds. He's got this kind of, he becomes more alive as the film goes on. Actually, at the beginning he's literally laid out in state, not moving, and by the end he's kind of dancing and chirping and leading the people around himself, right?
Well, his son is kind of becoming more and more. I mean, no spoiler alert, but like the end moment, it's a very sad ending, but it's like a kind of sadness that's quite hard to kind of explain because it's so poetic. The move towards the end where Joseph is basically dressed to be like the train conductor at the start of the film, the blind train conductor. He's essentially sort of like that role is conferred on him, and so he goes into a sort of death, a kind of zombie state, carrying this candle around his neck, and stepping out onto this field of burning candles
and graves.
Yeah, and graves. An image one cannot separate from the Holocaust or the feeling of the Holocaust. But yeah, through that process, you have the central emotional feeling is like the father who's like, it's going to be all right. Like, our shop might be shutting down, but like, we'll start a new shop or things will get better. And then the son being like, I don't know what's going on, but something strange is happening. And like, what sort of starts off as a playful child's game becomes this really haunting trauma that unfolds quite slowly. Meanwhile, this guy is also in his adult self reconciling himself with this huge grief of his father dying. And that grief becomes beautifully elided with the grief of a whole community because they are in the ghettos. This is about the Jewish ghettos in Poland. Yeah, because you're right. It conflates in a really powerful way a collective agony and trauma, and which is hard to understand. It's hard to in these things. It's hard to understand, engage even as a participant, as it were, someone a victim. Even harder for a child, perhaps. And so yeah, he's mourning for his dad. He's mourning for his people, and it requires a kind of child's mind, as it were, to invade that past and to not come to terms with it, because this isn't saying everything's okay. It's kind of just accepting the I guess the trauma and the insanity of it, right? And like any repressed experience, it's accessed through dreams and through shattered recall, which is kind of what we get here. And like you said, it's interesting. He becomes a conductor because a conductor is kind of like Sharon. It's like the boatman of the River of the Dead. He's there to kind of bear witness and to ferry people back and forth into this place. And that's the role he's got to take. It's almost like maybe the filmmaker's role is to like convey this fragmented, difficult story to you, the viewer, and to future people. And I mean, it's interesting because his Haas was Jewish and his family was Jewish, but they were practicing Roman Catholics, and he was agnostic personally, apparently. But I think, to what extent that was because even World War II in Poland, obviously the Jewish community was decimated in Poland, and even under Soviet occupation, like being Jewish was not necessarily a kind of easy thing to be, particularly under Stalin. Things were a lot different in the 70s, but yeah, it was not. But yeah, he's definitely, what I think is quite beautiful is that it's like in no way an identitarian work. No. And I think you could probably, as a Gentile, you probably could have made it. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like kind of weighed down by like that specificity, and yet it relies on that specificity to have to be a story and to convey because there's a history there. When I first saw the film, I was quite young when I first saw the film. I think I was maybe 14 or 15. Oh, wow. And I didn't clock that it was about the Holocaust at all, actually. I just sort of thought it was a zany Polish film, and I just enjoyed every minute of it for the joy that it is, all the colours and music and the sounds.
What kind of a 14-year-old were you?
Yeah, I watched it with a friend who was like kind of pointing, this is doing what Jews here, Jews there, Holocaust. It obviously became obvious. Obviously, yeah. But yeah, it's sort of, it manages to transcend that context and be so many things all at once without no one reading of it really denies any of the others. No, and at times it's purely a farcical celebration of a child's imagination. Yeah, exactly. And it exports you to that world. It has an element of Terry Gilliam in it. His time traveling film, whose name I cannot for the fucking life of me remember. Time Bandits. Time Bandits. So it's got a kind of Time Bandit quality about it, but was suffused with this like ambient, the thing that links 8.5 and Jodorowsky cinema and separates it from this. Seems like this kind of bizarre, where your inner worlds, like me and Ralph both. I mean, I wasn't a participant in Ralph's childhood. And his mum's like, "You must go to school, Joseph." We don't understand what this project is about. Whereas with Jodorowsky and Fellini, who was a Russian writer, and actually Aforiev's book Moskva,
Patushki, so Moscow stations, Moscow to Patushki, was released in 1973. Or I say it was published in samizdat format, so it was circulated in kind of home printed, as it were, editions and handwritten editions, because it wasn't allowed to be published because it was considered too bohemian and too reactionary. Because it was about dreams and it was dreamlike, and interestingly, Folyev's book takes place entirely on a train. It's a train journey as a man goes to visit his daughter, similar mechanic, but absolutely no question that they probably didn't know of each other's existence. And in that film, this alcoholic character kind of just basically gets delirium tremens. He just drinks himself into this kind of chaotic, brilliant stupor, to the point where he misses the stop to see his daughter, and then falls asleep and is chased and haunted by these demons back to Moscow. And it's a really interesting kind of psychedelic kind of outside element to both of these things, like one a book, one a film. And there's a kind of undercurrent of like the early 70s in Russia, like the 68 kind of percolating, and kind of the counterculture of Western Europe and America kind of percolating through Eastern Europe a little bit, in little interesting ways. I think both of these films reflect that. Even the choice of font actually for the titles has got this very like psychedelic acid drippy quality to it, hasn't it? So it's playing in that. They're kind of participating in that, and kind of this kind of stuff wasn't allowed in the 60s, and certainly not before in Russia and the Eastern Bloc, because it was individualistic. It was about drunks and outsiders and outcasts. This one was about Jewish people and Jewish beliefs, right? So it's like it's interesting that these kinds of stories started kind of pushing through a little bit. Compare it to like the very measured Structure of Crystal we watched, Zanussi, where the bohemian guy in that is bohemian because he's a scientist, but he chooses not to work in a city, and he's gone to the countryside. That's the kind of bohemian narrative in that. Whereas this is just like fucking balls to the wall, bizarre, which Fouriev is as well. I should actually say, before I hand it back to you, there's a really good documentary about Fouriev's film made in Poland.
So Fouriev made a film of this novel?
No, it's not. It's a documentary about it, but it kind of stages parts of the novel. I know we always say this about putting a link description, but we
literally really never do, and we won't.
We never do. I shared it on Twitter, so I'll repost it on the account.
I'm off social media, so I don't know any. I can neither confirm nor deny any of this.
You're on the other shore. So let's talk about House a bit more, because we've talked about this mournful quality to it towards the end, but I think there's also a story here about shorn of its political and historical context. There's a story about fathers and sons here, isn't there? So what do you think about that? That's a very quick and lazy way of me passing over a bit. What say you?
It's very beautiful. I personally relate to it hugely. The feeling of dreaming one's parents, I guess, is the feeling it gives off. He's sort of frustrated by his father and confused, and he's looking for, he's needing attention as well. Like the film really allows him to be a child in a very simple way. Just wanting, his father always seems to be preoccupied with other things, and his father kind of, towards the end of the film, his father they have a proper conversation, but he's still sort of like rambling, and there's this that just feels so, I can't even be critical about it. It just feels so true and so relatable. Every scene with his father, there's some kind of inability to connect, and yet some scenes they get closer than others. And he's come here, just even the act of visiting the sanatorium is this act of like wanting to connect. And then you have his mother appears now and again. She's obviously like a ghost, but she's there.
She's working through the kind of it's sort of like she's unaware of him as an adult.
So she just treats him like a child, and he's sort of saying, "Oh, I'm an adult now." But at that point, it's already slipping and sliding these kind of realities. I'm just so impressed by the ability of someone to play with reality in that way. And I just really, sometimes I wonder, because it's something you see quite a lot in Polish cinema, and I wonder, maybe it's just not in our DNA, in our culture in England to reach those levels of dream.
English cinema doesn't do the dream,
but we still dream.
Recently, we still dream, and it's interesting. But in the UK, we've talked often about, or alluded to, kitchen sink drama. But the kitchen sink drama, or the Ken Loach approach, is often the Loach approach.
Worst part ever.
Like the Loach, totally, or like a Radio 5 Live talk radio program, the Loach approach. But with that cinema, the relationship between fathers and sons, or families, or communities, is just a realistic, bare bones depiction of that, and the effectiveness is to see it played out. But it kind of does. It's a very grim cinema, and it has no room for the nuances and complexities of actual experience, right? But with Sphere, shout out Sphere, just coming in the room. But with this particular film, there's a celebration of the psychological mysteries of relationships, and I like that about it. And it's not that English people don't have that quality. It's just we don't have a kind of language or appetite to watch that. But not to say that this film was received in a lukewarm way. I believe it wasn't massively celebrated by critics for various reasons, I think. So it
Oh
speaks
yeah,
to
it met many ambivalent responses, but it was sneaked into canon. It won the jury prize. But I guess just on your point about like dreams, I think that there is like a literalness in English culture. Doesn't seem to happen so much in music. I don't know. I'm always trying to create rules and like reasons for like why this is. Just as an English filmmaker, I find myself frequently like troubled by our relative inability to like grasp the cinematic, and I feel like for Poles, I mean, first of all, like there's a cinematic culture in Poland where, like, you know, to the best of my knowledge, like young people in Poland know who Wojciech Has is, they know who Kieslowski is, they know who the great, you know, Andrzej Munch-Wajda, you know, all these people, they know the names, whereas like here, you know,
well, that's an
try like asking
education.
some young person about people, like, you know,
even switched on
or,
people, you know, who yeah, but, what? I think there's partly that's an educational thing, because the Soviet education really was celebrated the arts.
Even now in the capitalist era, the Polish people still celebrate their filmmakers.
Oh, totally. I think it's, you know, like I said, in Russia, you know, everyone, the anecdote is always, you know, you ask anyone from like a fishmonger or someone sweeping the streets to a university professor who their favorite novelist is, and they'll all have read Gogol and they'll all have read Tolstoy, you know, and there'll be an awareness. Everyone knows who Tarkovsky is, and people celebrate, you know, Bulgakov. There's, you know, Moscow is full of graffiti to Bulgakov. The building that he lived in, the whole public stairwell, is full of graffiti to him, and it's never been painted. Whereas if that happened in the UK, it totally would have been painted over by the local council. People are like, who? Bulgakov? What? And I think there's a kind of appreciation for the arts which remains. You know, it's even with the Polish poster school, which we talked about before. You know, Polish posters stand out amongst any others for their quality and their beauty. And there was an entire kind of department of the university that was dedicated just to churning out poster designers. And that's still very much a tradition today. Like, people still consider themselves part of that Polish school of posters, and it's still really celebrated. And yeah, it's just a very different environment. And a lot of that, I think, is to do with, it's probably culturally specific, but I think a lot of it's to do with Soviet education.
And also Poland specifically, because we often talk about Poland more than other countries in that region. Like, Poland is a country that has, like, for several periods of time not existed. It's a culture that's like between cultures, squeezed. Yeah, it's in a sort of you know, like a mid spot between like Russia, the monolith of Russia, and like Central Europe, and kind of connected to the West. It's in the European Union. I feel like England. Yeah, England. We have or Britain, England, which is kind of the same thing. You know, if you know what I mean.
You know what you mean? Shout out Alex Niven.
Like Scotland and Wales are their own thing. But like England and Britain are the same.
Yes. I know what you're saying. But
it's true. Like I really feel like Anglo-Britishness is a thing. People in England think it's the same. It's just that, you know, it's just that's part of our like former colonial energy. But the point I'm trying to make is like there's like a literalism and probably an anti-intellectualism as well.
Totally, yeah. Which
is kind of like, you know, like it's interesting to me that like the best English filmmaker is Alan Clarke, and Alan Clarke is a filmmaker who makes work about people being totally unable to express anything. Like Alan Clarke's films are like incredibly violent and brutal and harsh, and they're most of the benefit of them is the catharsis of seeing your own society, like a mirror held up to your own society. There are other filmmakers I like I mean, Peter Watkins I like for probably similar reasons because he's so blunt. Ken Russell I like because for different reasons, because Ken Russell is like does have an element of that fantasy and that tenderness and that romance to him. But generally speaking, yeah, I think that like there's something culturally for Poland, and maybe specifically in Wojciech Has's case, from coming from a Polish Jewish background, about that ability to move between realities that seems kind of unique, and I'm very enviable.
Yeah,
of that, you know?
I'm very enviable. I wish I knew more about it. I mean, I think Poland has a kind of very unique streak about it in a lot of ways. Like, I know we're kind of reducing it to Soviet Union, but I know it's not true. I mean, you know, Poland has its own alphabet that it's short, you know, it kind of rejected the Cyrillic alphabet. It's Catholic rather than Orthodox. So there's lots of elements of Polish society that kind of, despite it being a squeezed battleground between different power blocks, you know, it has kind of really had to kind of defend its culture and its outlook. And it has a very, I mean, having talked to Polish people before they've lived with or kind of worked with, whatever, a lot of Polish people I've known have had quite a dark sense of humour, which in some ways is comparable to kind of like English sense of humour in some ways. And there's obviously close parallels between, there's a lot of affection and fondness, well, not in all quarters, but between Poles and English people, or British people. They're close,
we have
tight,
a huge Polish population in this country.
Huge, yeah, and have for a long time. And there's a lot of fondness.
Hammersmith, one of the Polish capitals of London.
The Polish capital of London, I love it. But that's it, yeah. And everyone knows, you know, the local Polski sklep, you know, the local shop. And so yeah, there's interesting parallels, but then divergences, like you said, the bluntness of Clarke or whatever, and and I don't know what that comes down to. British culture is a lot more functional.
Huge obsession with
status, class, whereas
which doesn't happen
transcends. Yeah, whereas local identity and local, I guess, like folk culture, because the UK does have that, and I think in music it's more obvious because there are certain musicians who are kind of like Gazelle Twin or Richard Dawson, people who are kind of drawing on like the English weird and the English eerie, and that's definitely really palpable in music, not so palpable in film. And for me that's really interesting, and I don't know if that's the UK seems to value its documentary filmmakers a lot more maybe that's an influence of like John Grierson, BBC film unit, documentary film unit, and all that tradition. But yeah, it's we are bereft of dreams, or people who can artifice dreams for us. The grottiness, what we've been talking about actually. Sexually, it's a very hungry film. It's very.
Aren't we all in lockdown?
Aren't we all? It's very get your tits out. I think every female character in the film, bar his mum, is topless at one point. But I don't think it's. I noted that.
You just fucking Bechdel the fuck out of that film, man. Like what are you trying to say, bro?
Well, no, I'm not, no condemning. It's done very well because obviously it's a child's desire, and it's not like an obsession with the vulva. It's an obsession with the breasts, right? It's a I suppose a Freudian kind of thing, a maternal thing. And these characters are, sort of. Yeah, it has like a maternal energy to it rather than a sexy energy. But it's interesting bit where his father, the kind of more Freudian element of it is when his father's kind of hosting a load of women at a dinner, and he's talking about this fillet of beef that he's had, and he kisses a boy on the mouth. And so it's this very erotically charged scene of his father as this kind of sexual figure. It's very Freudian, isn't it?
Being sexually intimidated by your father is...
We've all been there. It does play with that stuff, and it does play with kind of Freud, I guess, in a kind of... subtle enough way, I guess. I don't know if it's in an
but it doesn't like do Freud, like
no, it doesn't.
Like, people talk about Has being a like psychoanalytic filmmaker, which it just makes me cringe because it's like he's just talking about like relationships and life, and he's talking about it with a certain truth that Freud's theories also. It's
a convergence rather than a copy.
He's not interpreting Freud. Like he's doing dreams. Like dreams happened before Freud talked about them.
Believe it or not. But yeah, it does have that element to it, I think. I was going to say maybe it's a bit more Jungian in a way, but whatever. In terms of like a collective unconscious, it does feel more Jungian. But there's some amazing moments of like collective coming together, like when he's in the beginning of the film, he's with a lot of elderly Jewish men, and they kind of begin to sing and dance. It's a really powerful scene. And to begin with, he's a kind of outsider to that, but then he kind of slowly picks up the moves and kind of mutters the words.
That's
like
a beautiful
he's remembering
moment.
It's really amazing.
There's a lot of joining in. I mean, that's what's so graceful about it. I feel like it wouldn't work in England because the character would be like, "What's all this then?"
Keep it down.
Some of us are trying to make a film here. Yeah, totally. It's another amazing mystical quality. It feels very emotionally open. Yeah, I love this film so much, man. I'm being very wary of reverence at the moment because I think the more I watch films,
Oh my god. But yet, they still
Hey, this is Zach from Maj, and this video is brought.
Oh, this was bound to happen. Type now for it. It's so big. Oh god, I need some coffee. Okay. Now I finished talking about Hourglass Sanatorium. Not that I talked so much about it. I will do better next time, but you know, I think subconsciously I just didn't want to put so much effort when I knew that nobody will be listening to me, and you know, I was just like, whatever. I'll just say some bullshit and then continue to watch some shit online because you know you don't have any viewers. You don't need to put that much effort into your um, show, basically. But I think I should stop thinking that way. I think I should always strive to do better. I am so sorry to anyone who came here in hopes that they will hear some really good insight about me ranting about the movie and whatnot. But I believe next week I'm going to do that. Next week I'm going to talk about Hourglass Sanatorium properly. This week, maybe not so much. But who cares, you know? Nobody's watching anyway. But, you know, always do it like somebody's watching. I mean, I used to do it anyway, so just, you know. Now I'm going to watch a movie that was recommended to me by a friend. Who I will obviously text because she really wanted me to. What was her name? When? Alright, now let's get to it. I'm gonna have to close this. Close this. And you. Shh. Ah. Good God. So this series is a Thai drama, a really gay Thai drama about hot gay people falling in love with each other and the mafia, apparently. I have no idea what it is about. Hold on. Goodness. I love Thai mukbangs. No, internet, please don't do this to me. Please. Let's go with that. Okay? Hold on, I need to see this. Ah! It's already shit. I might as well just do 480. What? Oh god, I need to. Please whack. Please whack. Ouch. Oh my god, I think I need a new. Hot gay man, let's go.
Che cazzo sta succedendo? Il signor Gon non ci chiama mai.
Oh my god, this is so obviously a Vincenzo copycat.
Lo so. Usage.
If this is not a Vincenzo copycat, then I am Marilyn Monroe.
Where is Mr. Gon? When
This is Vincenzo, but gay. I can already tell.
From now on, Midkins will be in charge.
Oh, okay. Good English. Really, they don't have like.
Ciao, King. Wow. It's you are all grown now. Huh? Pedamati.
And he's gay.
Take a seat. Still you found gelato. No,
Does he have an aneurysm, this man? Why does he talk like that?
Welcome to Hambata สวัสดีค่ะสาวๆนั่นได้เลยค่ะไอ้พอช
พี่แจงคนสวยพิงค์เลดี้พี่กระปอยก็สวยไม่แพ้กันวอดก้ามาในนี่เชคกิ้งนัสเตอร์
James Bond? Is she James Bond?
พี่ระดาพิเศษหน่อย
Is he gay too? He can't be that charming if he's gay. Come on.
My dad hasn't been very well lately. Things are a bit off-hand. Just today, Dad, I have a chance to look through the company statements.
How excited are you for the big profits?
Right. The casino is making
Hi.
bigger profit each year.
Welcome. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for the stock.
Do you agree?
Oh god, the conversation is already. Oh my god, look at this. It's horrible. This is a Vincenzo copycat, by the way. Korea already did this. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to change the username. Or are you talking about your username?
I have done business with your dad for years. Huh? And he never
Soviet God. It's good, it's good. Only, I mean, are you a communist? Mafia bosses do not look like baby dolls. Okay, when do they meet? Look at his face. He doesn't have anything. It's so... What? What the fuck?
วันนี้มันได้ว่ะพี่พรพี่สอนพวกผมดิเอา1,000เฮ้ยวันนี้ปะพรุ่งนี้ปะ200ว่ะมาก่อนมา200มี500อ่ะพี่ได้ปะขอนะพี่ขอนิดนึงพวกมึงไม่ต้องทำอะไรเลยเว้ยแค่ให้ในสิ่งที่พวกเขาต้องการนะมึงเห็นไฮโซพวกนั้นปะพวกแม่งไม่มีคนรักมีแต่ตังค์มึงก็อวยพวกแม่งไปดิแล้วพอเขาให้เงินมาเขาเร็วนี่แค่นั้น
That was valuable advice, really? Oh god, oh my god. Just to make him look cool, that's what they did? I don't like the main character. I don't think he's hot. Porsche is hot, but like... But she has titties, and I don't like titties. What? I thought he was gay. Is he bi? Okay, this is not a bad fight scene. He told me he was gay. But he's having the cooties with a woman. What is going on? I'm here for the gay love. Oh, so he's bi then, I guess. Judging from the way that the character is, yeah, he's bi. But that's like, I don't know, bro. Just come on, get to the point. Holy shit. I thought it would be like less production, but there's a lot of effort put into it. Oh.
เฮ้ย50,000ได้เฮ้ยแป๊บหนึ่งบอกว่าแป๊บหนึ่ง
Oh. Oh. Our bike queen, yes. Holy shit. I didn't expect this. This is some good camera work and shit. From these kind of movies, this is a lot. Damn. Oh, that walk, horrible. Why did he kick him and then run away with him? Oh my god, it's men running! Ah! I can already tell this guy is super, super toxic.
ขอบใจเฮ้ย
The money, bitch.
เอาเลขบัญชีมาเดี๋ยวกูโอนให้
Hmm.
มึงจะบ้าเหรอ
These nuts.
โอนมาตอนนี้กูไม่มีมือถือเอามือถือมึงมาเดี๋ยวกูให้คนมาจัดการนี่ครับได้เลยโถยสัตว์หน้ากูเป็นคนโง่เหรอเดี๋ยวมึงก็เรียกเพื่อนมารุมกูหรอกงั้นมึงจะเอาไงเฮ้ยนิ่ง
What in the world? And these two are supposed to have chemistry? What?
งชื่ออะไรมึงจะรู้ไปทำไมกูจะได้ส่งกระเช้าไปขอบคุณถูก
He has such a cartoonish face. He looks like he doesn't look attractive in the most human sense. Kin, you know, the guy, the red
กูชื่อจอม
tuxedo guy. He has such a different face. I've never seen a face like that before. It's so unique. I like it. No, but that's the thing. At first I thought he was kind of ugly as well, but then now I look at his face, it's like really strangely alluring. If I were a gay man, I would go for it, you know? The aura. Mm-hmm. How did they find him immediately like that? He doesn't have a phone. How did they find him?
คุณคินเป็นยังไงบ้างครับกูโอเค
Where's the hair? Where's the you know, they're all so little, like little boys. They look so pretty. And the jawline cuts cake. Right, yeah, you're so right. Oh my god. Oh no, is his parents dead? Mom is sick or something? Oh. No, they're alive. No. The mom is dead. And they have debt. Don't they? Oh, they definitely have debt.
ใช้แม่งทวงค่าบ้านว่ะมาพอดีอ่ะไม่งั้นไอ้เชื่อโดนยัดแน่
Close your shirt, darling. What the hell? I can't take you seriously when I see your titties. You manhole.
ไม่เป็นไรมาเป็นอะไรมากปะเนี่ยสบายแต่ว่าทำไมเราถึงขาดส่งวะ
We got no money.
ช่วงนี้เชื่อเปิดเทอม
I am a poor bitch.
เบิกค้างส่งมาเป็นหลายงวด
And his name is Porsche. Like, right? Yeah. Like, what? What the fuck?
เฮียผมขอโทษไม่กูบ่นไปงั้นแหละไม่เป็นไรกูยังไหว
Parents were really original. Right.
ผมซื้อก๋วยเตี๋ยวมากินก่อนเลยกินไก่แช่มันผมกินแล้วงั้นเดี๋ยวผมไปใส่ชามให้
Okay, I can't handle this. I need some sexy gay romance.
อย่างน้อยก็พยายามช่วยผมไว้อะไม่งั้นป่านนี้เช่มัน
Move it, move it. Let's get to the romance. What is he? Oh, a street fighter. Yeah, I believe that. He's fighting in jeans and Converse, and he has not even a single scratch on his body or on his face. He is made of marble. There's literally not even one scar. Are you kidding me? What is that? Eucalyptus? Is his nose running? Is he trying to be like, ugh? Oh, that's the product placement? Oh my god, what is that? No, nothing. No scratches, no bruises, no broken noses. And he's been doing this for a long time. Right? It's so silly, honestly. What? Oh, shit. Hold your titties, right. Oh. But his body is like, it looks good. Honestly. Hold on. Is he actually gay? Or is he just acting? I don't know. I need to see. Ken Porsche. No, like the actor, the guy who's playing him. Just in case I become famous, I want to date him. If he's not gay, that is. Apo natawin watanagiti pat. Goodness, his name. Let's see, Instagram. He could be gay though. Why can't I find him? Oh my god, he's so handsome. Look. So handsome. He was a model.
น่าจะต้องพักเป็นเดือน
I know. I'm like crushing real hard. Oh.
ดีนะที่พวกมันไม่เอาแกถึงตายไม่งั้นแกไม่ได้มายืนอยู่ตรงนี้หรอกพวกแกเนี่ยมันใจร้อนวงการนี้เนี่ยมันต้องรู้จักเด็กรู้จักผู้ใหญ่
Hot-tempered?
สมัยฉันขึ้นมาใหม่ๆ
How? He was super calm. What are you saying, Dad?
ไปไหว้พวกมันเลยผมผิดเองเมื่อเช้าผมได้ส่งกระเช้าไปขอโทษเขาแล้วเขาน่าจะพอใจ
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Cosa è successo? Che è stato? Non lo so, Don. E li voglio ammazzare. Bastardi! Figli di puttana!
What, in Thailand? Oh, honey, you don't know the girl boys? Lady boys? Thailand is really comfortable with the gayness, I guess. I don't know.
ให้มันได้เห็นเรื่องสิเจอไอ้จอมหรือยังกำลังเร่งหาตัวอยู่ครับไม่ว่ามันเป็นใคร
You're not sure?
ให้ไวที่สุดครับ
I think I'm fairly sure about it. Because a lot of tourists go there for the lady boys, you know? It's very famous tourist attraction. They're really beautiful lady boys. There's laws in Thailand. Are you sure about Thailand? Maybe you're talking about somewhere else.
กูไม่ติดงานกูมาเว้ยกูดูคนไม่รักเรียนเหรอวะไอ้เชื่อกูอะซีหลอกกันดิจบแค่แล้วโอ้ยยังใจว่ะเฮ้ยไม่แบ่งนะงำปลานุ่มหอมด้วย
Let's see, is Thailand
อร่อยไหมชอบแย่งกูเนี่ย
LGBT?
เหมือนไม่เราเดี๋ยวเราจะกินกูเอ้ยไอ้พอด
Yeah, it's
หมดละเต็มที่เลยมึงอะ
see, I told you.
เห็นว่าให้ไปแถวสนามบาส
That was product placements as well. I didn't even see it. I think I'm too used to like ads and shit.
จอมไอ้พอดมึงจะมีเพื่อนเป็นพระเอกนะเว้ย
They're really accepting of trans people.
มีโมเดลลิ่งมาชวนกูไปแคสซีรีส์
And they have a high level of homophobia is rare in Thailand. Thailand is very gay. That's what they have a lot of movies surrounding like the gays and stuff. I think Taiwan, there's a lot of Taiwanese series as well who center around yaoi relationships. I've never actually seen Japan do. I've never watched a Japanese series though.
ใครมาไอ้ที่มึงตอบกูขี้ผมขี้อยู่เนี่ย
I'm taking a shit. What? Oh my god.
ไม่มีไร
He's taking a shit. Oh god, I didn't need to know that. If you're a man and you wipe your ass, that's like more than enough for me. But don't talk about taking a shit. Because I will also talk about taking a shit. The Iron Balls Parlor. Oh.
ขอบคุณมากเลยที่สนใจจะมาเป็นพาร์ทเนอร์ในร้านของโยกนะคะ
ยินดีครับ
Oh god.
ร้านสวย
ขอบคุณค่ะคนอ้าวฮัชนี่จ้ะคุณคินเขาสนใจจะมาเป็นพาร์ทเนอร์ของร้านเรานะ
He's toxic as fuck. Can y'all just stop portraying men like this?
แต่ว่าเจเนี่ยกำลังจะดีลเป็นพาร์ทเนอร์อย่างอื่น
ชื่อพอสเหรอครับ
ใช่ค่ะชื่อพอส
อ๋อผมนึกว่าชื่ออื่นซะอีก
เป็นตัวท็อปของที่ร้านเลยที่ถ้าไม่ติดว่าลูกค้าที่ร้านชอบเนี่ยเจแล้วก็อยากจะดีลไปกินเองแต่ก็ไม่ได้นะคะ
ถ้างั้นผมขอคุยกับตัวท็อปของร้านเจ๊หน่อยได้ไหมครับ
ได้ค่ะได้ดูแลคุณคินหน่อยนะขอตัวนะคะ
What the fuck? I like that lady. I don't know why.
ทำไมกูทำร้าย
She's the only lady? But we saw the ladies.
เห็นกูเป็นมา
Right?
คลาสไปได้
In the first few minutes. Oh, oh.
มึงอยากได้นาฬิกาไหมล่ะ
Okay. I mean, I get. I don't know.
เปล่ากูว่ามึงโดนหลอกแล้วนะเรือนเนี้ยต่ำๆกูว่ามี2 ล้าน
Am I supposed to be like scared at this moment?
ใจเย็นๆกูเพิ่งมาของกูเหนื่อยเห็นได้อยู่ว่ามึงชงเหล้า
The jawline.
ไปชงเหล้าให้กูแก้วหนึ่ง
Why? What is up with that music? Why are you so threatening? He just asked you to make a drink, which you make a drink already.
เหล้ากัดด้วยน้ำมันเผือก
It's smaller than a 90-degree angle.
ขมแต่หวานติดปลายลิ้น
Oh, so
อ
threatening.
ร่อยดี
มึงอยากได้อะไรของมึงก็ได้คืนไปแล้ว
กูว่าตรงนี้แม่งเสียงดังว่ะไปหาที่เงียบๆคุยกันดีไหม
I hope he's not gonna assault him. Oh god.
กูไม่ไป
It's taking too long. I think this was like the part where we have to like feel the tension. You know, oh my god, the main characters meet and oh my god, he got kidnapped. What the fuck? What the fuck? He got kidnapped. This is not shitheads.
พอดพัชระอายุ 23 ปี
Oh my god, he's younger than us. I mean, well, me, I guess. Right? I thought it was titties. I really thought of that. I was like, that kind of looks like boobs.
ระดับทีมชาติจองตัว เป็นเด็กกำพร้าหรือต้องเป็นเสาหลักให้น้องชาย
Oh, he has no parents. Oh, the guy was his uncle, right?
จ็อบ
Of
หลัก
course.
เป็นเด็กเสิร์ฟตัวท็อปเอวไวเอาใจเก่งจ็อบเสริมเป็นนักมวยใต้ดินฉายาเดอะฟินิกซ์จบยังมึงประสาทไปเนี่ยจับกูมาเล่าเรื่องกูฟังมึงบ้าไปเนี่ย
Yeah.
แก้มาได้ไหมมาเป็นบอดี้การ์ดให้กู
What? Bodyguard? Okay, I did not see that coming. I think I didn't read the synopsis well. Hold my balls like a
กูรู้ว่ามึงไม่ชอบแต่งานนี้จะทำให้น้องชายกับครอบครัวมึงสบายไปทั้งชาติ
a woo.
ใช่ดิเสร็จเงินซื้อครอบครัวพวกกูได้แล้ว
Bro, what are you talking about? He just offered you a job.
จับคนดีๆเข้ามามัดแล้วสืบประวัติเขา
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
ทำไมกูไม่รู้สันดานคนพวกมึง
True that. I like when men fight, especially if they're shirtless. Let's go, men fighting. But no, these look like little boys, more like. No, what the fuck happened? Dude, oh my god, my internet it's so bad. Oh my god. What is sandbox? Bro, chill. He just offered you a job. What the fuck? They literally did the same thing with any other, like, K-drama, Thai drama, with a poor girl, orphan, who has to take care of her brother or sister. Just, they switch the genders. That's it. That's it. Oh my god, you know. Hold on. I have to open it over here, I think. My stupid internet. What the fuck is this? What? Oh my god, I was just watching it. Like, no. This is not good. Come on, dude. Ah! Found it. Finally. Oh my god, please. Are you kidding me? Are you still there? Soviet. So sorry for my terrible network. I bought Ethernet cable. It's gonna come in 4 days, I think. So sexy. Look at them fighting. Oh my god, I love it. Oh! Ball grab! Hot. Okay, the reason is that that random dude is the mafia boss. You don't understand. He cannot overpower a mafia boss. He's going to be the bottom. Also, if you overpowered him, why would you need him as a bodyguard, you dumbass? What is the point?
โทษทีกูเป็นคนใจร้อนสองโอ้ยถ้าต้องเป็นบริการให้มึงเนี่ยกูยอมตายหรอกเว้ยปล่อยมันไปไม่กลับมามือเปล่า
I like it.
ผมบอกปลาแล้ว
So far, I like the series.
ปลาที่อยากได้คนเก่งคนเก่งของมันไม่ตั้งเยอะแยะคนเก่งเนี่ยมันตั้งเยอะแยะแค่เอาเงินฟาดหัวมันก็ตามมันมาแล้วแต่ไอ้คนบางคนที่เอาเงินฟาดหัวมันแล้วมันยังดื้อไม่ยอมมาแกไม่คิดหรอกมันน่าสนใจ
It's gonna go into 100 different directions. Son, you need a man who's loyal to you, not your money.
หรือไม่ก็ตระกูลรองซื้อตัวไปนี่อาจจะเป็นคนที่แกหาอยู่ก็ได้
Then you should fuck him in the ass. Stupid fucking internet. I hate my internet. Oh my god. Okay, but did you take a look at the movie recommendation I gave you? No, the series, sorry, not the movie. It wasn't a movie.
ลูกค้า
And you were telling me you can watch with me anytime because I have plenty of time every single day. Why are you tired though? Excuse me, you have a life? Are you telling me I don't? Okay. Jesus.
ผู้ยี่คินใช่ปะคินไหนวะเฮียก็พวกมาเฟียนี่ไงก็ไม่ใช่มันแล้วใครทำแล้วมันเป็นไรวะเนี่ยผมไม่เป็นไร
You have friends and stuff? Wow. That must be nice. Oh, take care of yourself. Drink some lemon and mint things. Vitamin C is very important.
ไอ้เงินที่มึงฝากมาใช้หนี้พวกกูมันมาไม่ถึงเฮ้ยอานักลงทุนมึงมันเอาเงินมาลงทุนในบ้านกูแต่มันคงลืมไปว่าทุกการลงทุนมีความเสี่ยง
I knew they had debts. I told you. The first few minutes.
ไม่จริงใช่ไหมบอกเขาไปดิว่ามันไม่จริงพอดมึงอยู่ไหนมาใครก็รู้ว่าไอ้เนี่ยมันไม่อยากมาจำที่บ้านกู
He's a gambler.
เงินที่ไปลงทุนถูกเพื่อนโกงมันก็อยู่ที่นี่ไง
With what money are you gambling with, you dumbass? If you were rich, I would understand that. But with what money? Oh my god. You see, this guy looks like a real mafia boss. Look at him. This man right here has done some shit and has been through some shit. He's a real thug. The other guy, on the other hand, with the pretty face, I don't know what he is, but he ain't no mafia boss. He's just the wannabe model. Dude. Kind of, I don't know. I just wish one day they could just make a real mafia boss, like a real one, you know, the one with the fucked up teeth from smoking too much and a beer belly from drinking too much. Chai really cheated. Stupid internet. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I just want one movie. Okay, so they're gonna talk, and then he's gonna go to the mafia boss and accept his job offer. I'm guessing, right? And he'll be like, only on one condition. I will not do anything like any killing in your name, blah blah blah, something like that. Is it true? Did I guess it right? Let's go to the second episode. Because if there's one thing I don't care is, I knew it. He's gonna play the I'm the honorable man. I will not kill anyone in your name. Pass, pass. And somehow they're always playing chess. I don't know why.
บริการทุกคนจะต้องฝึกซ้อมตามตารางอย่างเคร่งครัดและผ่านบททดสอบตามมาตรฐานของที่นี่ทุกเดือน
Is it really prevalent in Thailand to play chess?
ที่นี่คือสนามฝึกซ้อมยิงปืนของตระกูลหลักซึ่งเป็นทักษะที่สำคัญที่สุดของบริการทุกคน
Wait, he's being taken to a training center for bodyguards?
Strength and conditioning is a big deal. There's no room here for anyone who's out of shape. Got it?
He's Australian? What the fuck?
Got it.
That was so good. Is he Australian? That actor? He should have been the main character. Look at him. Oh yeah, he's gonna have a bigger role. Is he also gay? Idiot.
โทรมาทำอะไรจองเวลานี้เฮียคนทำงานอยู่เอ้ยกฎข้อที่สองห้ามใช้อุปกรณ์สื่อสารส่วนตัวทุกชนิดเว้นแต่ออกไปปฏิบัติหน้าที่ถ้ามึงมีธุระด่วนจริงๆให้ใช้โทรศัพท์กลางครั้งละไม่เกิน10 นาทีทุกอย่างที่คุยจะถูกบันทึกไว้
Oh.
นี่มันบ้านพักบริการสุดไว้มึงระวังปากหน่อย
I see more tension between these two than I would see with the mafia boss and him. Oh! Damn. Men. This whole movie is just men. Masculinity. Oh, really? It's a fever dream. Yes, male gaze. But the gay male gaze, you know what I mean? Actually, no, you're right. Male gaze in general. I mean, men tend to see themselves like this and they want to be this. This is the kind of men they want to be. Yep, the fighting scenes are cool. I think they were really good choreographed. Oh yeah. Definitely. Don't get me wrong, I like this shit. It's just I think they should be balanced, you know?
จำกฎทุกข้อให้ขึ้นใจเข้าใจไหม
Seeing two sides of the same character would have been nice.
ทุกคนกลับไปทำงานส่วนแกมากับฉัน
Oh, okay.
นี่คือห้องตัดยูนิฟอร์มของบริการทั้งหมดแล้วถ้านายโชคดีไม่โดนยิงตายที่นี่ก็จะมีหมอกับพยาบาลให้บริการตลอดเวลาแต่ถ้าตายก็ตัวใครตัวมันเลย
What? What is this? Oh my god, he doesn't have... Is he naked? Close your eyes, girl.
วันนี้มีคนใหม่ดีกว่าสวัสดีครับเขาใหญ่ไม่ได้ว่ะเมื่อกี้กูเดินหาลงหาตัวใหญ่โตจริงๆก็ไม่ได้หรอกแต่ยายกูส่งมาให้อร่อยกว่าเยอะกูชื่อพีทได้ยินน้องมึงเป็นหัวหน้าบริการให้กูกินแล้วมึงอ่ะ
What are they eating? Avocados and shit? Eggs? Is that eggs? I like Thai food. I really do. Thai food is delicious.
กูดูแลคุณแทนคุณพี่ชายของกินให้มันคนเล็กก่อน
I love watching the mukbangs they make. They have some really good shit they eat. With a lot of spice, you know.
บ้านเนี่ยเขามีลูกชาย3 คนมีคุณหนูแทนคุณเคนแล้วก็คุณพิม
Oh, let me guess. This is the guy who is going to be together with the Australian dude, the one who speaks really good English. Am I wrong?
แต่คุณพิมเนี่ยเขาแยกไปอยู่คนเดียวชาติหนึ่งว่าจะกลับ
No? He's just a quirky best friend. This one. The one who's talking with him. With Kane. With Porsche? Right.
แล้วคุณหนูของมึงอะโรคจิตของกูว่าไม่เหมือนดีจังเพราะหนักกว่าเยอะ
I know.
คุณกินของมึงอะปกติสุดในบ้านแล้วบ้าตีห้าเฮ้ยเป็นชุดแล้วไปเอาของที่ห้องครัว
I know the inner workings of Asian dramas.
เขาให้มาเอาของให้คุณคินครับ
He looks like a waiter.
ไปสิคุณคินรออยู่ที่สนามยิงปืน
It's a woman.
ผมเป็นบริการนะครับให้ผมไปตามคนมาช่วยยกไหม
เพิ่งมาใหม่นะสิเดี๋ยวก็ชิน
Bangladesh. Oh no. I mean, you said that there's no women at all, so now my brain is just like, oh, it's a woman. Oh, it's another woman. So it's like, I know what you mean, but oh my god, is he putting wasabi? An idiot! Why would he do that? Is he trying to kill the? Bro, he could get fired for this. He could get ended. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god. Yeah, but he does, right? He's there because his uncle is going to get killed if he doesn't get money. So he should care. He should be serious. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Damn. I just wish my internet was like... Wait, hold on. I can do this.